Hey everybody, we're going to do notes today on this asynchronous day, August 26, 2020. The notes are on section 1.5, ranges, casting, and concatenation. So first, ranges. Integer variables have a maximum and minimum value. So you can see these values by printing. Right here in the middle, I have integer.max value. And if you print that, you'll get this number, which is 2,147,000,000, blah, blah, blah. It's actually 2 to the 31st power minus 1. Go figure. And if you print the minimum value, you get actually negative 2 to the 31st. Crazy. You don't have to have those values memorized, but you do need to have memorized integer.max value and integer.min value. And you need to know that integer variables have a maximum value they can do and a minimum value they can do. Doubles, by the way, have maximums and minimums that are just so big that it doesn't really matter. We don't need to worry about that. There's something called rolling over, though. So if you have a variable that holds the max value and you add 1 to it, it rolls over and becomes negative. So it's kind of bends space and time. So here I made a variable big var, made it equal to the maximum value. I printed it just so we could see. And then I added 1 to it. Remember, this plus plus just means add 1 to that variable. And then I printed it again, and now it prints negative. That's the min value. So again, you don't have to memorize the actual maximum and minimum values, but you should know how to get them, which is this integer.max value. And then you need to know that they roll over if you go too far. So that's that. I feel like I'm going really fast, but you can pause the video and then catch up on writing things down. So I'm going to go on. This thing called casting, we already did this on Tuesday. It's when you want to change a variable or an expression from one data type to another. So we've already done this by multiplying an integer by 1.0. That casts an integer value into a double value. So this first example is what we were doing on Tuesday. 1.0 times 7 divided by 2. That makes the 7 equal to a double 7.0. And then when you divide that by 2, you get 3.5. You can literally put parentheses and the word double in front. That does the same thing as doing 1.0 times. So this second line also prints 3.5. What happens is the double part acts just like a 1.0 times, and it goes with not everything to the right, but just the next thing to the right. So it literally is just like saying 1.0 times 7. It changes the 7 to 7.0 before Java does the divide by 2. So this word double, that's another way of casting. It's 1.0 times is maybe easier, but and you don't have to cast if you're storing from an integer into a double. That's because Java knows you're not going to lose anything when you store an integer into a double variable. So right here, if you say double GPA equals 4, notice 4 is an integer. Java is going to store 4.0 in the variable because it knows, fine, 4, I'll call it 4.0. We're all good. You do have to cast if you're going to lose some data. So this next example, I say integer area equals 3.14, that's a double, times radius times radius. And Java, if you try to compile this code, assuming you have an integer variable called radius, Java will complain when you try to compile. It says incompatible types, possible lossy conversion from double to int. So that's a fancy computer way of saying if you're trying to store a double calculation into an integer variable, you're going to lose data. That's what that lossy conversion is. And so if you know you want to do that, even though you're going to lose data, no problem. Just put a cast of an int in front. So this is the other cast, the int cast. We had the double cast on the previous page. We got the int cast here. And notice I put this whole calculation in parentheses. That's because we want to do that whole calculation before we turn anything into an int. If you didn't have parentheses around this, it would literally turn 3.14 into 3 first and then multiply, so you wouldn't get the same answer. Interesting little tidbit there. So again, I know I just cranked through this. Pause it, back it up, listen to it again, but I'm going to go on. Concatenation, the last part of our notes for today. Concatenation, I defined it down here. It's the action of linking things together in a series. So specifically in printing. So this first example, print 1 plus 2 plus hello in quotes. What this prints is 3 hello. And the reason why is Java's going to go from left to right, and it says, hey, I got 1 plus 2. I know how I can add those together. That's a 3. And then it's got 3 plus hello, and it's like, uh-oh. All right, I can't add 3 and hello. That, I mean, I'm not. It's not going to be a number, so I'm going to switch everything to text. And so it stops trying to do any addition or calculations, and it prints 3 hello. All right, the next line, hello plus 1 plus 2. On this one, you're already text. Java's like, okay, I'm going to print the hello, and then we got a plus 1. Okay, well, the plus 1, I'm just going to put it next to the hello, and then the plus 2, I want to put that next to the 1. It doesn't add the 1 and the 2 here, because once it switches to making things in text, it's going to stay text. It doesn't go, oh, I got a bunch of numbers, let's add them together. It's hello, in quotes, turned it into text, so then it's just text, 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 text. And then if you did want the 1 and 2 to add together after the hello, you have to put it in parentheses. That's this third example. So kind of like order of operations, it's going to do the parentheses first. 1 plus 2 becomes 3, and then it says, oh, I'm doing hello, and then I got a 3. So these are just some funky little things. And again, as I said, if this was way too fast, because gosh, I feel like I said it really fast. Just back the whole thing up and watch it again. And then I've got this Google form in the classroom that I, again, want you to do all the problems, and you need to do that today to get marked present for our asynchronous learning day of Wednesday. So, and I have it as a quiz, quote unquote, but don't worry, it's not going on your grade as a quiz, but it's practice. And something I want to suggest, you can do the quiz multiple times. So if you do it and you biff it, meaning if you blow it, let's say you get 10 out of 15 and you're like, boy, I wish I did better. Read the little notes I put in there that explain the answers. And then, a couple hours later, try it again. Or the next day, try it again. And see if you can do better. You can also go back and do the form from the other day again, if you want practice on that. And in fact, we're going to do a quiz next week, and I would strongly recommend running all these things over again before then. But we'll talk about that on Friday and on Monday. Sorry, not Monday, Tuesday. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop the video now. Good luck.